Hey guys, what's going on? Bringing you a review today of Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy 2-pack of Starlord and Ego. I just walked into the store today and found it, so I figured why not check it out. I already have like 73 Starlords because of Build-A-Figure waves and all that kind of stuff, but I actually wanted a second Starlord from this wave, although this is my third one, to do the paint job for when he has the energy going through him. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie. Sorry, it's been out for a while though. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you probably saw the movie. So I'm okay with that because I'll probably use the one from the wave, the first Guardians wave. Overall, I think not a bad job. His head sculpt actually kind of reminds me of Santa Claus though, which is pretty funny. So we'll go over paint and sculpt first, and then we'll hit on articulation. I actually like Ego a little more than I thought I would. You know, he's not perfect or anything like that, but I think overall the sculpt work that they did on all of his clothing and everything like that is actually pretty good. His face sculpt is pretty accurate. I mean, it looks a lot like him. This kind of shiny lighting doesn't really help with that, but it does look a lot like him. And then they also gave you a head sculpt of him being kind of angry. So out of the package, you can see the difference in the head sculpt a little more. When I was looking at it in the store, I was like, well, kind of gave us two of the same head sculpts, but not bad. Not bad at all. The paint on him is actually really good too. His beard has two paints in it. His face is painted with multiple colors. The accents on his suit are metallic and painted pretty well. And all of his clothing has dry brushing and weathering and stuff like that. The boots are weathered really nicely. I've been very impressed lately with what Marvel Legends has been doing with their figures. And I mean, I think everyone needs to step it up because of what Mezco and Revoltech and all usually import figures do compared to Legends, but they've been doing a good job, so I'm not gonna give them too much of a hard time. I think they've done a really nice job with a lot of the figures lately. This has weathering on it. It's sculpted nicely, and he has kind of a body type that I might use him in some other pictures for just like a random space dude. Maybe take the cape off and put a different head sculpt on or something like that. Or could even be funny to take some older Papa Star-Lord head on there and take some funny older Star-Lord pictures. But as far as he goes, I think paint and sculpt work were done pretty well, actually. So we will move on to Star-Lord, and then we will see their accessories and articulation before that. I think on all the Star-Lord figures they've been doing, I haven't even compared them yet, but the head sculpts are good. They're actually really nice. I was impressed the first wave of Star-Lord Guardians figures I got with that Starlord, and same thing with the texture in his jacket, and not as much paint on him. I mean, his paint's alright, it's not messy or anything, but he doesn't really have that many metallic bits or anything to do like that. He does have the lettering on his shirt, but his stuff is sculpted nicely. Doesn't have too much weathering on it or anything like that, so that's a little disappointing compared to his counterpart, especially because we know how dirty Starlord is. But yeah, not a bad figure. I hate when any figure's arms have to do this thing and they can't just be relaxed by their side. That's kind of aggravating. I also wish they would give like maybe a second pair of arms that would match the shirt for one of these figures. I'm not saying every single one, but if you're going to make me buy like 5 Star-Lords, give me a reason besides just getting Ego in the 2-pack, which shame on me because I'm a sucker. But overall, his paint and sculpt is good. I don't really have any complaints about it. It's nothing to write home about, but it's not bad either. So as far as articulation goes, he has he doesn't have the newer ball joint that allows it to go back pretty far, so his head articulation is actually quite a bit limited. His shoulder only goes to about there, which not the end of the world, but definitely could be better. He has no ab. Oh, sorry, I lied. He does. It just didn't move too well in the jacket, so my bad. He does have ab crunch. With the jacket on, it does move. It's not hindered too much, but I bet you could get a little more out of it if there was no jacket. He does have a thigh swivel. He has double jointed knees. He has calf swivel. And he has your patented ankle rocker that everybody loves so much. He has double jointed elbows for all your shooting needs. And his wrists can go back and forth. The top of, when you try to go up, the jacket does hinder the hand a little bit. So that's kind of a bummer, but no big deal. So that, and he also has like a waist swivel. So not bad articulation on him, especially for the kind of clothing that he does have on. Ego, he has a little bit more range out of his head than Starlord, probably a lot more if you take this shawl off. His shoulders go a little bit higher than Starlord's, which is nice. And his actually movement in his body, even though it looks kind of funny on one side, like over here when you do it, is actually really good. Like, he has a pretty good range of motion, forward, backward, and side to side. I mean, he moves around pretty well. He also has waist swivel. He has thigh swivel. He has double jointed knees and calf swivel. He has ankle pivot. So the articulation on these guys are definitely getting better. He also has the double jointed elbows, and his wrists don't really go up because of the wrist guards he has on here, but they will go down. So he also has some bicep swivel, and so does Starlord. Sorry if I didn't mention that. And none of the stuff on him, other than his cape on his head, really hinders the articulation that much. Now, I love Guardians so much that I really got this 2-pack, even though I didn't think it was like the best value. You get the second Starlord head, you get the second Ego head, you get Starlord's two blasters, excuse me. And you get his, I believe it's supposed to be broken, like tape or Walkman, but it's no paint apps, no anything. So it's really kind of just crummy, to be honest. So to make this 2-pack $40 and give us the exact same figure, and then no accessories for Ego, I would not say this 2-pack is a very good value at all. They've made us buy Starlord for, not made, but Wave 1 Starlord, Wave 2 Starlord with a scarf. Now 2-pack, you have, same Starlord and Ego. Not giving Ego really any accessories is kind of a bummer. I almost wish they would have just put Starlord in his shirt, not given him his accessories, and then maybe given Ego the ball of light to throw around with Starlord. Just any little thing that he could have done. Maybe a third head sculpt like in the Phoenix pack with like some of the energy and things from the movie. But I'm sure if I thought on it a little more, I could think of some stuff that maybe I would want him to have. But unless you really, really need Ego or you don't have Starlord yet, I'd say there's nothing too spectacular about either one of these that you have to get them. I really enjoyed the movie and I wanted Ego, so that's why I did it. But essentially, I'm paying $40 for an Ego figure that doesn't come with any hands or accessories. So that's kind of a bummer. But even honestly, I know I can make one, but even the little ball of light would have been a nice touch just for this 2-pack, and it might have made me give it a little bit better of a review. I don't think the figures are bad. I think the accessories are fine and stuff like that, but overall, I don't think you really have to run out and grab this one. But if you do like the figures, they're pretty decent figures. So you can decide on that one. The scale, I do like that they made Ego a little bit shorter than Starlord, and it's nice that they're actually working on that kind of stuff because he has some new parts and some new molds and stuff like that, and I know that does take some work. Overall, not a bad set, but don't think you have to rush out and buy it. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.